The Celtics dominated Game 1 of the NBA Finals, holding the Mavs to a 97 offensive rating and completely neutralizing Dallas's deadly pick-and-roll game with Luka Doncic. So, why did this game look so different from the Western Conference Finals, and what exactly was Boston's game plan that held Luka and the Mavs in check? The first thing Boston did was stick Jason Tatum on Dallas's center, which meant if he wanted to attack Boston's center in pick and roll, Derrick Jones Jr. would be setting the screen, and he's not a roll threat. Boston switches anyway here, and Al Horford gets a good contest on Luka's step back. Remember, this pick and roll connection with Doncic's big men torched the Wolves in the conference finals by playing 2-on-2 in the paint, where his centers are these big vertical threats to catch lobs behind the defense. So if Luka wants to attack Boston's center in pick and roll, Jones has to set the screen. And when he rolls free, even when Luka has Tatum on his hip, Jones isn't a lob threat behind Porzingis, and the paint is more crowded with Dallas' center on the block, bringing an extra help defender, and Kristaps is too big for Jones. Here's another one in the third with Maxi Kleber in the game at center instead of a lob threat. So when Jones sets the screen, he has room to roll, and it's a great play by Jaylen Brown to come over and break it up. But the play is also below the rim because Jones is smaller, and then even when they have a second chance at the rim, Brown stuffs him again. Now, this isn't some one-off game plan Boston just cooked up. They played Dallas like this in their March matchup, having a forward guard the Mavs center and having their own center guard a forward to take away Luka's lob weapons in the paint. And they do this all the time, so it didn't matter who it was. Porzingis is on PJ Washington here. He's going to drop on the pick and roll, but again, Horford is also in the paint because Dallas's center is parked on the baseline, and they basically ignore Washington on above the break threes. This time Porzingis is on Josh Green. It's the same drop. Green pops to the three-point line, and Derek White doesn't even close out to his shot, playing the corner shooter instead, and Green sees a traffic jam and short circuits. If the big man is setting the screen, then Boston just switches with someone like Jason Tatum. The roller can't run free, and JT is good enough to hold his own in isolation against Luka. And the Celtics would switch these screens with Brown taking away the roll man, and then they didn't really want to help too much on Luka. Jaylen stays with Daniel Gafford here, and Doncic ends up with a layup. And they wanted to make Luka a scorer and keep his playmaking in check. Drew Holiday ignores Jones here to come help on the lob, so Brown probably should help, but he doesn't want to leave a lob threat, and it's a tough layup instead. The rest of the time, Boston was switching all of Luka's pick and rolls, and then mostly playing him straight up. And he went after Sam Hauser twice in a row in the first quarter, and Hauser more than held his own, poking at this and forcing a turnover. And notice how far over Brown is to clog up that driving lane for Luka. So even though they weren't double teaming him, they were often shading a defender toward him. Peyton Pritchard switches this time, and Holiday just lingers right in that driving line, even with Washington one pass away, so Doncic settles for a step back instead. This time they let Brown defend him in isolation, and Porzingis is happy to help off of Jones. He can easily recover and contain the drive, and again, he's not a roll threat like Gafford or Derek Lively, so it's an easy Porzingis block. Here's another one isolating against Brown. Holiday steps in front to stop the drive. He sort of lingers near the free throw line, but doesn't double, and Tatum is sitting on one block because Gafford's on a shooter. Horford's on the other block guarding Jones, and it's a tough 15-footer for Luka. This time Al is on Gafford, but when he screens, Brown just avoids the switch. Horford sits on the roll threat, and Luka ends up with a tough runner. And Doncic actually had some daylight here, but Holiday lunging at the ball forces him to pick it up prematurely and shoot. It's the same thing in the second. Jrue is shading off Kyrie Irving. Luka drives, but that stunt forces him to pick it up. Tatum is lurking. White comes off the strong side corner to help, and they probably don't care too much about Washington shooting above the break threes, because it's the same story on this play, where Doncic is looking to pick on Pritchard. Jrue is one pass away on Washington, but still jumps over to destroy the drive. And again, it's a tricky mid-ranger for Luka. Later in the fourth, Pritchard was matched up with Doncic in transition, and an entire side to work with. White sees that and spontaneously doubles, and then he can stay with Luka after the pass while Boston recovers. So when they go back to that isolation, Tatum can roam off Jones, and it's a rip-through foul on Derek for having arms. Basically, by eliminating Doncic's normal pick-and-roll partners, which then changes the spacing with an extra player in the paint, and then ignoring his teammates, Luka finished with just 1 assist. That's the lowest number he's had in a full game since his rookie season. Here's that one dime of the night. So even when he had the matchup he wanted, with Lively setting the screen and Porzingis in a drop, Jones's man can help on Luka's drive. A guard is lurking to stab at the basketball, so Porzingis can sit on the lob, and this one's a foul on the pass. Here it's Horford guarding a big man, but they'll just switch the screen when he's involved, and he's so wily that he can block Luka's step back. So despite his advanced age, Big Al is still nimble enough to switch these screens and hold his own out in space. They'll even switch these on off-ball actions, and he stays with this so well that he almost ends up with a clean steal. And one of the reasons he can play Doncic like this is because he knows he has some help behind him. Porzingis is roaming off Jones, so when Luka gets a step, White is cheating off his man, and it's a great pass, but Porzingis' glutes force the turnover. Unlike Horford, the Celtics try to keep Porzingis out of the pick and roll with Dallas's big. He tells Hauser to pre-switch here so he can roam in the paint, and again, that puts extra bodies in the lane. Holiday is ready to help on a drive, and that just makes life easier for Sam in isolation. And here's one late in the game where KP ends up on Lively, but he tells Pritchard to switch into the action instead. White just never leaves Doncic and picks his pocket from behind, and that leads to a run out and an easy layup. In his first game back in more than a month, Porzingis had a big night protecting the rim. And in the first quarter alone, he blocked 3 shots, including this masterpiece in transition. And on offense, his spacing had a massive effect opening up the lane, because he can bomb like this from way downtown. Here's that exact same play, only this time instead of hitting Kristaps, they throw it to Tatum, and Luka doesn't want to leave Porzingis. Shooters are spaced everywhere, so JT can attack his mismatch without any help. This time it's Jrue Holiday in transition, and again, the shot blockers stretched out to Porzingis instead of clogging the lane, and Jrue just plays a game of one-on-one bully ball. And I love this away from the ball, where Lively's chasing KP at the three-point line, so when Tatum beats his man, Luka helps, but he's not a shot-blocking threat, and it's an easy layup. Boston's spacing in general might be the best we've ever seen. Lively is out on Porzingis here, and the lane is just wide open when he drives it, and this was apparent on the very first play of the game, where Gafford tries to cheat over off Horford, but when they swing it back around him in the corner, the Mavs are stretched too thin, so the up fake sheds the shot blocker, and it's a red carpet dunk. The Celtics also do crafty stuff like stick a guard on the baseline while spacing a big man to the perimeter, so there's less shot blocking near the hoop, and that created enough space on this play where Brown left Luka in the dust and just punched it on the finish. Jalen and company hunted Luka a ton throughout the game, and he had a hard time staying in front of the ball as the game wore on. While on the other end, Brown held up well in his matchup against Doncic, containing the point of attack against Dallas. The Mavs finish with just 9 assists as a team, their lowest of the year by far, and the 4th fewest in a finals game in the shot clock era. So now it's back to the drawing board for Jason Kidd and the Mavs to see what kind of answers they can come up with for this Boston machine. Because after roaring through the regular season, the Celtics are now just 3 games away from an NBA title. If you want to work in basketball, I have the place for you. It's Sports Business Classroom's immersive program inside Summer League in Las Vegas. Past instructors in this program have included Commissioner Adam Silver, Mike D'Antoni, and tons of other industry leaders in the NBA and in media. Sign up using the code GREATDAY for $300 off. There's more information in the description box below if you are interested. To support this channel directly, check out patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. That is the best way to support the Thinking Basketball podcast and this channel. Hope you enjoyed this one as always, and wherever you are, that you are having a great day.